Hi everyone, Grey Power 60 here. I'm having a cup of tea. Welcome to another, welcome to another hashtag Stamping Sunday. Having a sip of my tea. It's a little bit late at night, but I'm trying to get this done for the weekend. This collaboration is hosted by Thelma Hall and Paula, Crafting by the Pond, I believe. I never get it right. I apologize, Paula. Yeah, I wanted to try something different. I don't know if it's going to work on these or if I need to get a blank one. Let's see if I have any of the other ones handy. No, let's just go with what I've got here so far. I have quite a messy pile beside me. I've been working on a lot of different things, a lot of, yeah. So I thought this was pretty, but we're going to turn it over because I don't, it's too dark and I want to be able to see this properly. Now, not that one. These tags that I made out of a master sheet of, I can't remember if I videotaped this or not, so forgive me for that. I had a lot of, I'll just grab these pieces, but big ones. I have a lot of DSP, Designer Series paper. DSP, which is basically, you know, these papers that you get in your scrapbook pads, etc. So I had a lot of scraps, nothing that really matched. These are just a few left over. So I decided to try a master board or a master sheet or a master paper, whatever you want to call it, using all of the scraps, like just random. No particular order, no particular, I don't have these in order at all. I'm just throwing them out there to show you. You know, maybe I put 3 of these across here. And I just cut them out without looking to see what what I had or didn't have, whatever. Yeah, so I just collaged it, I guess we could say. All of the pieces that I found in one bag. Once the glue was dry, I just cut it. These ones are 4x6. These ones here are 4x6. These long tags are 3x6. I believe this is 3x5. Yeah, and this one is 3x5. And I can't remember what else I got. And then this is just a blank one that I had. We'll have that later. So what I wanted to try today, because I don't have a sewing machine, and I don't know if you recall, if you watch my channel or not, or if you recall, I had purchased these clear stamps that are supposed to mimic sewing machine stitches. And what I wanted to try, I don't know how it's going to work. I have no idea. We'll try this 3x5 first. And I think I'm just going to, the biggest part of this whole thing is trying to decide, you know, which stitches you might want to have on your page. So I am going to just take them out of here. And I'm just going to, this is the side that you're supposed to be able to see the stitches on. Which one was I going to try? it doesn't matter really. Yeah, see, this is the hardest part for me, is trying to decide which one I'm going to take out that looks like some sort of stitching. So I'll just go with the first one. Let's just take out the first one. This is the biggest clear block that I have. It doesn't fit on my smaller ones. I'm just going to use my black archival ink. And I wanted to try and see how it would look on these random tickets, random, I better do it this way, collaged tags that I made out of just regular scrapbooking paper scraps that I had. I'm just going to try and get as much on here as I can. Okay, and I am going to turn this and just, it's not even straight. See, that's why I liked this, because it has a grid on it and I could make sure them, but if you're sewing, you're not always sewing straight, right? So we're just going to put that on there like that. Can't really see it very well. I'm going to see, I might a little bit more, and see if I can get that on there. Yeah, this would work better. This particular pattern would work better on a plain sheet of paper rather than colored cardstock. But I just want to, you know, I just wanted to test it out and see. Maybe I'll do one across and see if that. Okay, so I don't think you can see very well. Now, if I put it on this side, let's just do that for the sake of argument here. Let's just do it on the back, because the back is white. And if you have stitching, chances are your stitching would go on all the way through, correct? It's just my thought. I'm just going to, sorry, I'm banging my thing here. I'm just going to try and line that up. Yeah, it's not straight on here, but that doesn't matter, because when you're sewing, it's not always straight. And then we're going to just go across. How high did I go up? A little bit. Closer to these ends. So we'll just do that. So as you can see on the back, it comes out more clear, whereas on these ones it didn't. And what I thought I might do later on is take a needle and thread and just go through a couple of these and let the threads hang out so that it looks like it is sewn. So I think that these colored ones is not a good idea. Now I gotta move my teacup. Not a good idea for those, but I wanted to try it. I just wanted to see how these faux stitches would do on, I'm just trying to find another one, on colored paper. It does show up. It does show up, and I think, let me just even, hopefully you can see here. So it does show up like here and here, but in the darker ones, of course, it doesn't. But the This is for us those of us who don't have a sewing machine. Let me get the ink off of here. I don't like, because I use the larger one and I use the grid, I certainly don't want any ink on there. Okay, let me find another one. This one here is more of a not a zigzag, but kind of. I wish it could fit across. I wonder if I can. Let's see if I can do that. I mean, it's just a touch to, where did I put? I'm running out. It's right underneath here. Oh my gosh. White on white. It's not quite white, but it's close enough. So that's one. Let me try this one on here. Sorry if you can't see me. I may be out of frame a little bit. I tried to make it close to me. Now I'm going to come closer and I'm going to try and line it up. And of course it isn't absolutely straight, but neither is sewing. I mean, I suppose if it's a straight stitch, you probably could go fairly straight if you're following a pattern, but there we go. So I just wanted to test the stamp on colored. I'm going to put that there. Let's see if I can get a little bit of ink on there. That's okay if it's a little smudgy. That's quite all right. There's no problem with that whatsoever. But again, I thought for those of us who don't have a sewing machine that you could use these type of stamps to mimic a sewing machine, and also not only to mimic the sewing machine, and I bet you I didn't bring my needle with me. I didn't. I thought I had it right here. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got my needle. I got some black thread, which is thin thread. Maybe it would be better to use thicker, but we could easily, and I think I've done this before, is punch through these cards and pretend to sew. I should have used a smaller needle here, but I guess what I'm saying is that we could do it by hand or we could stamp, but what would be fun, I think, what my idea, me and my bright ideas, would be fun is to just do a bit of threading like that and leave the thread behind as much as a sewing machine does. You know, kind of that's my kind of thought process here, so that when you're using a regular stamp, when you're using these stamps, you could come in and just do a little bit of hand sewing. Of course, this is a very thick card. That's probably why. And I've got a thick needle too, which is probably why it's a little bit more difficult to go through the, oops, I moved it, to go through the paper. But still, you can, whoops, see, that was my fault. I wasn't paying attention because I didn't tie a knot in there. But we'll just go through and let's go through. Is this going to be a fail here? It's because I'm not holding onto the thread here. There we go. just to give the illusion, I guess is what I'm saying, that we're actually sewing. And, you know, you could even just tie a knot in the back with it so that it would stay there. And then just cut off the thread, and that way you have threads through here. Would have been better to have it on the top, mind you. But it still would add a little character when you have it in your journal, that you know, we can stamp with these faux stitches because we don't have a sewing machine, and then maybe just add a little bit of thread in the corners where, you know, where a sewing machine would end up. And again, this is very thick paper, and I'll just hold onto it with here. Because sometimes, you know, when you have a sewing machine and you're doing these stitches, you do that back and forth to reinforce it. So now all I'm doing is just kind of going through it a couple of times so it gives the illusion. It gives the illusion that you've gone kind of back and forth. And I didn't hold on to it, so I better behave myself here. And then I could maybe add a little knot here and cut it off. So again, even though it's been stamped, you can leave the threads on with the illusion that you've sewn it. So it was just a little something. If you have these clear stamps that give the impression, I got these at Temu, I believe. It gives the impression, I gotta put that candle out, it's blowing over here. I should have put my other one on. And if you don't have these, you can take yourself a pen or a Sharpie, not a thick one like this. I'm sure I've got a thinner one around somewhere. Yeah. And you can also create the stitching yourself by just putting the lines in, and you could even put, you know, a little dot when you're doing this. You know, this is kind of a trick that we all know. I mean, these are things that we all know. You know, you can do that, and by just adding a little thicker dot at the end, it gives the illusion of, or even on both sides, it gives the illusion that it's been sewn. And then when you take a real thread, a needle and thread, you can add, you know, you can add the stitching on there, and it just gives that illusion. Because by the time you decorate these cards, tags, journaling cards, tuck spots, etc., when you do get those into your book, it gives a lovely illusion that you do have a sewing machine, or that you've sewn it. There. It just gives the illusion, I think. I hope you can see that okay. I think it gives the illusion that there's a stitch. So if you're lucky enough to have one of these stamp sets that have the different stitches in them, you can not only do the stamping with it, but just take a needle and some thread and just stitch at different spots, and even make it messy so that it gives the illusion that it's been sewn. And that just adds a little character to your card. So I just wanted to share that with you this week, just to give you maybe some ideas. Maybe you already knew about this little added trick, I guess, to trick the eye, that you can either use your clear stamping on here, or you can use your Sharpie to make, or pen to make stitches. But adding the thread at the ends gives it a little bit of a better illusion. So if you happen to have these stamps, try that with, you know, with whatever cards, whatever you're doing, and where you want to make a faux stitch and you don't, like me, have a sewing machine. Try adding that little extra touch to it. It's kind of a fun idea. I think even with the Sharpie going down is, you know, gives it the illusion that it's been sewn. And of course, you're going to be collaging on here. You're going to be adding different ephemera. I don't have anything handy. Well, even here, say, we'll grab one of these ticket things here, you know, and you're going to be putting that on, and the focal point will not be on your stitching or on your stamping, but on what you've got in the middle and what your focal point is, and it'll take away from that. So it just gives that illusion, and I thought I would share it with you. So thanks for joining me today. I hope that was kind of a fun tip. Like I say, if you don't have these stamps, they weren't expensive, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I got them at Temu. I may have got them at Amazon. You can check both to check the prices on each. Just have a feeling I got it at Temu, but I could be wrong. It could be Amazon. And all I did was clear stamps, faux stitching or sewing, and that'll bring it up. And then you can, you know, for those of us who don't have a sewing machine, this is kind of the next alternative. I know I've shown this before, but I did want to kind of add this little tip, that just to give it that one more step, that one more little faux stitch by adding some thread to various parts of it, gives it the illusion that it is real stitching. All right, guys, I think I've gone over that a couple of times. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.